I'm uncomfortable. Hey YouTube, it's Sunday.
Why are you such a copycat?
I've been talking about doing a storytime series on this person who I named in a past storytime video. I think it was storytime. I named him Greg. And I decided I kind of wanted to start that today because I have a couple different videos I'm playing around with, but that's honestly like, that's the one that I want to talk about. So I feel like that's the one that's going to wind up being the best video. So here we go. So just to cut to the chase, Greg was a guy that I dated. I had to have met him at the end of junior year, and then we didn't start talking until senior year. So like I said, whenever I first like actually met him, quote unquote, we like actually started becoming friends, that was senior year. He played saxophone. I remember that because back then the saxophone was my favorite instrument. And I also had decided, like the reason why I'm calling him Greg in this is because I decided midway through, I was obsessed with Wizards of Waverly Place at the time, and GREGG SULKIN played a character in that show. I swear I thought that Greg looked like GREGG SULKIN. He didn't really. Sure, they had like similar eyes, I guess, and maybe their cheekbones were kind of the same, and they had like a similar hair color, but honestly, he really didn't look that much like him. So yeah, so he played saxophone. He sat next to this girl named Frankie. I don't know, we'll call her Frankie. So Greg sat next to Frankie, and they were like best friends. They had been best friends since like way back. And they were pretty much inseparable. Like, if I ever wanted to talk to him alone, I couldn't talk to him during band practice or any time that she was like anywhere near him, because anytime they were like in the same room, they were together. So yeah, so I, you know, would mostly like wait until she would walk away because I was awkward, and I don't know, for some reason I didn't want to go and like try and talk to him while he was like hanging out with her, so whatever, that was dumb. But I did talk to her sometimes, and she was pretty cool. So Greg was not a very, open person. And by that I mostly mean that he was closed off, but also that he didn't really use social media that much. I think he may have had a Facebook, but like I said, he was never on it. I, on the other hand, have always been the opposite. I love social media, and I have loved social media since I got my first account on Facebook. I had a Facebook. I wound up creating a MySpace later that I never used because it was after MySpace was already dead. And I also had a Tumblr. Now, it's not like I didn't talk about the fact that I had a Tumblr. So there is no way that he did not know that I had a Tumblr. So it was this crazy thing, that spring break, band decided to take a trip to Disney World because they were gonna play in like the parade or something like that. I don't know if they did that every year, if it was just that year, I'm not really sure, but it was marching band and it was open to any of us, but it cost like, honestly I don't remember how much it was, but I didn't have the money to go, and actually what we were doing in order to raise money was trying to sell like oranges and tangerines and stuff like that, and I'd sold a few boxes but nowhere nearly enough to get me there, so I wasn't able to go. And at this point we had talked on the phone a few times. We were still friends at this point, but he's in Florida with the rest of the band. Almost everyone went. Like I said, it was spring break and we didn't take any trips or anything. I just sat at home on Tumblr most of the time because that's just what I did back then. So I remember going through Tumblr. I don't remember what it was I had searched. I had searched some tag. I don't know why, but I searched a tag. And I found this Tumblr. This is the weirdest thing that has ever happened to me. Not really, but it was pretty weird. I don't remember what the URL was at the time, but like the theme of the blog or whatever was like the box, or like inside a box, or think inside a box. It had something to do with a box, and it was kind of weird. It seemed like a play on words, and I was like, this seems like kind of an interesting blog. It was all text, and I was like, I was trying to make I had two blogs. I had like my main one where I reblog stuff, and then I had my second blog which I was trying to turn into an all text blog. So maybe that's what it was. Maybe I was just looking for text blogs to follow. I think that's what it was. So I start going through this text blog, right, and reading the posts, and they're all kind of cryptic. Like, they don't, like, this person didn't say like their name in the bio or anything. I'm reading through these posts, and this first story that I read, oh my god, I found it. Okay, I actually found a lot more than just that one post that I completely forgot about, and I'm so glad I decided to look on his blog. Okay, so this was the newest post on his blog whenever I found it. So after many camera issues and computer issues and etc., here we go. I'm ready to read this post. I glanced over it while I was like transferring files, and I forgot just how much of a douche he was. Like, I'm sorry, Greg, if you're watching this, but like, you're a douche. Like, you just are. This was the newest post on his blog whenever I first found it, and so keep in mind there was either no description or he hadn't identified himself. Like, whoever was behind this blog was trying to like you don't know who I am, like I'm hiding my identity, everything is vague. But now I know what all of this is about, and I will tell you. I'm kind of to this point where I don't want to talk to anyone until I get something off my chest, but nobody who asks about it is someone I want to talk to, so it stays right where it is, and it's crushing my ribs. So I'll rant here and hope somebody's reading while simultaneously hoping nobody's reading. My fickle heart is everywhere. Let's say there are 3 people with ropes linking them to me but not to each other, and I'm standing in the middle while they walk in different directions, like a dog walker, because these 3 people are bitches because they're girls, so they're female dogs. Okay. It's all in the subtext. Whenever I want to follow one, I hold myself back because of the other 2, and every now and then somebody else will briefly jerk some random way and disorient me all over again. 3 major players and dozens of minor ones. Who wins? Not you, fam. If this one is about his ex, we'll call her Julia. If 1, it means that everything from June through now is debunked. By that he means they broke up in June and then he was trying to like ignore her and then maybe like become friends again, but like be like civil about it, all that fun stuff. He's debunked because everything that I tried to build was in vain. But it also means a second chance, or rather a 4th chance. The question is, would my head let my heart take it? Unlikely, as I don't fancy being fooled again. If another, this one is Frankie. The culmination of months of efforts would finally come to be, and a head-driven affection transmutes into a chemical, heart-driven love. I think about her a lot, but to be honest, she doesn't give me much. But her apparent aloofness is part of why I trust her so much. Our relationship is a beautiful contradiction, a bittersweet half in, half out, or at least that's how it seems. If it weren't for that other guy, I wouldn't mind our current position. Alas, I am the jealous type. That's because you're the kind of guy who says alas. If the last, guys, this one's about me. If the last, it means the culmination of months of efforts on her part. It means I succumb, as if I have this power to seduce men because I'm just so charismatic and charming, and like any man that I ever try to win over is just fallen to the floor, but he's been fighting this urge for months. That's what happened. To the charms and flirts and words and affection of one I did not originally care for. Excuse me? I dated this guy! It means I will make a commitment to someone whom I've always been aloof towards, and whom I fear has only seen my better side. Because I'm secretly Batman, and she can't know that I secretly save the city at night and have angst about my dead parents. But she is charming and affectionate. You lie. And it is the most satisfying of the 3 in the current situation. That's only because I'm the only one who would have actually gone out with him, but you know. Others enter and exit on shifting points of the stage. None stay long, just extras, minor roles, small distractions. Having been a bachelor for close to 9 months, I am used to flying solo. I think to some degree, people expect me to. When I make a romantic move, it's subtle, and usually people don't learn about it, unless it works out. Hence, usually. Trickle faster. But being single for so long doesn't mean I'm happy with the position. Nobody realizes just how much I could use a hug every now and then. Yeah, it's not masculine to say so, but I have problems that need other people's assistance. Feminine assistance. Ordinary friends won't cut in those cases. Ew. Does it really help that only one is going to prom? ... No, not really. Because a prom commitment is not a long-term commitment. Because she, me, will be the first of 3 to exit the scene. Because I was a senior and he was a junior, so like I was gonna graduate first. Because despite the ease in which I could just succumb, again, because I'm some magical seductress who has any power over anyone romantically ever, at all, whatsoever, and reach out to her, I simply can't bring myself to do it. Same for all of them. My hopes with the other 2 chain me down. I can't walk out to any of them. I guess what I'm really asking for is for them to not give me a choice. If 2 got boyfriends or swore off dating entirely or some such other commitment. Some such? Is that really how you wanted to phrase that? Is that the most efficient way to put that sentence together? Some such? Okay. All I'd have to do would be take the remainder. Not that any girl wants to hear that. No! No person ever wants to hear that ever. Darn the whole thing. I never get anywhere with romance until I get outside my own head. That's not gonna happen anytime soon. Clearly. I'm going to distract myself with funny pictures and random posts that have been liked upwards of 6,000 times. If it was liked 5,999 times, no. Okay, and then I found something hilarious that I completely forgot happened. So this post appeared after I followed him. I had been following him for probably, I don't know, a couple of days. I thought it was him because I had like scrolled down for so long and it seemed like it was him. I started like liking his posts and I think commenting on them and whatever. I was trying to see if I could get him to be like, oh shit, she knows I have a Tumblr now. So the title of this one is, damn it, we finally heard him cuss. Damn it, if I wasn't so scared of hurting people's feelings, I wouldn't continue to hurt people's feelings. But Tumblr? I usually don't target my posts to any one reader because I would rather sit in internet anonymity than give away anything, clearly. But it seems I need to correct something, and that person will know who I am talking to. Go back and read posts from months ago. Work your way back up to today. Read the long ones where I ramble on and on. Watch how the attitude changes. Now listen. Back in October, I didn't know what to say. I was caught off guard. You were too forward for my liking. Heck, I was getting hugs from a girl I barely knew. I was a huge hugger in high school. I don't really hug people much anymore because I'm weird about it now, but in high school, I went through a stage where legitimately, when I made friends with someone, I would hug them every time I said hello, every time I said goodbye, and apparently that was too forward for him. I didn't know what to do. I tried to go easy. Too easy. I had to reaffirm myself later. I don't know what you're even talking about. But friends, I was both willing and able to be. I think I had told him that I liked him or asked him out or something like that. Maybe that's what he was referring to. I honestly don't remember. I did that a lot. Anyway. And so I started talking to you. And then I started realizing, dang, she's really sweet. You can say damn in the title, but as soon as you're in the text, it has to be dang, okay? You are bubbly and fresh and warm and new. You love and you crave love. I understand that. I've been there. When I reached the point where you trusted me, I got scared again. I thought, she's sharing things you typically don't talk about. That's my personality, bro. I can go up to a complete stranger and be like, here are all the worst things about me in my life ever. Want to be friends? I wondered for a moment, but truthfully, I couldn't back away. I get caught up in you when you're there. Not like in the room there, but up close and personal there. Italicize that. Does that make sense? You've continued to show yourself affectionate towards me. I can see that. When I feared for someone else, there was only one person who came over to comfort me. I needed that. What is he talking about? I have no idea what he's talking about. I really don't. Sometimes I want your unconditional appreciation. Sometimes it scares me. Try to understand running away from something you don't comprehend. I am afraid because it doesn't make sense to me. I'm scary because, like, I don't make sense. Don't get me wrong, like, I definitely don't make any sense, but, like, I'm sorry, that's the dumbest excuse I've ever heard. You've never seen my darker side. You've never seen me lash out in anger. You've never heard me cry out in fury. Or in fury, just take stabs at others, be inappropriate, hurt someone just to hurt them, hide something that could help them, destroy somebody's reputation. You've never, as far as I know, heard the stories of what I used to be like. My dark and vengeful past. Batman. My last relationship crumbled, shook, fell apart beyond repair because my ex idealized me in the beginning. So when I confessed things, she couldn't take it. Things that should be brought to light now, much like you told me. I'm gonna skip like this little detail because I feel like that one's a little bit too personal. I feel weird sharing that on here, but he's still a douche. Those are things that need to be taken into consideration before anything happens. Others know these things. The vague and mysterious others. Batman. They are people who I've known long enough to trust with them, which is actually a very long time because I've been backstabbed too often to allow any ordinary friend to know them. When I walk in the mornings, have you ever noticed who I do talk to? If you pay attention, all of my early morning conversations are brief because I can't think of anywhere to go besides there, and not one of those people is someone whom I would trust my life with. Why do you think, time allowing, I usually work my way over there? I can talk to you and your friends, and you're not perverted and you act like real people, and it's just ... easier. What does that mean? Understand that she is one of those people that I trust. So she is one of those people that I talk to when I get the chance. Understand that hormones can pull in multiple directions and that I don't like it any more than you. What do you mean my hormones are doing it and I don't like it any more than you do? Like, no, you're still the one who's like, okay, I've got like my choice of these 3 girls right here and like who am I gonna pursue? Okay, like I'm the one sitting here literally like, I'm in love with you, and you're like, well, we'll see. Like, come on, understand that when I said what I did outside that afternoon, that's so vague. You weren't alone. Understand that I've received grief about it. Too forward, not forward enough. Or, hey, why didn't you tell us you had a thing for her? Why the forehead? Why not the lips? That also pushed me back. I didn't want to be troubled by bothersome busybodies every time I spoke to you. And it sucks especially because it wasn't even your fault, yet you were punished. That was about the day that I asked him to prom, because, again, that's just my personality. I went up to him and I asked him to prom and he said that, he had already promised to go with his group of friends. Didn't tell me about any of the other girls, so that's why he was like freely posting, like vague posting about them beforehand. That's why he felt the need to make this post, because he didn't tell me anything about any other girls. He just said that he'd already promised to go with a group of friends, but that we could be on official dates if I wanted. We could like meet up there. And then he kissed my forehead. So, please try to understand that my life is not limited to what you see. Try to understand that I don't always say or show what's on my mind. There are multiple motives and multiple circumstances affecting everything. Understand that I really do care when you confess to me, that I really do rejoice with you when you share your successes, that I really do like your songs and wish I could offer more on the subject. But most of all, understand that there is a special joy when I am around you. And it isn't your fault that everything else is getting in the way. No, bitch, it wasn't. It was not my fault. Thank you. Understand that I came to your birthday party for you, all caps, even though I felt lame for having a last-minute tacky cash gift. Oh my god. Understand that also I hate that he's starting every sentence just about with the word understand. I'm not some little 4-year-old that you need to make sure that I understand what you're saying. Like, I get it. Understand that that laugh where your whole body bounces up and down is, he italicized this word, attractive. And it takes all my will not to scoop you up then. I'm uncomfortable. Understand that my recent aloofness has nothing and yet everything to do with you. Understand that I'm trying to say everything even though I might be failing and unclear, but I felt it must be worth it to make the effort so that you could, italicized, know. I'm always a cryptic. Now that you've gotten all that backstory, that's what happened, and a little after that, like, we started talking more and more, and it really felt like we were, like, romantically talking, and I'm still like, when I love you, so just, like, love me back, I really don't care. Like, that was literally what was happening, and that's messed up. Past self. The way the band works, it kind of like, things just get around, you know, like people gossip and it's like a giant family that's also all dating each other. It's weird. Anyway, so it got around that we were kind of talking, that we weren't like dating, but like there was something going on, especially after he kissed my forehead and whatever. Fast forward to prom night. That's really the main purpose of this story. I just wanted to give some backstory because I feel like it's kind of important. So it's prom night. I got all dressed up. I looked like a princess. I'll insert some pictures here. But yeah, my mom took me to go get my hair and nails done for the first time ever. I still haven't had them done since then, but I did my own makeup and I had my hand-me-down dress. It was like a princess ball gown, whatever. I was so excited. I was going with Connor and my other friend who I mentioned earlier. I really should give her a name. So Connor had a date, but he was like gonna go out to eat with us beforehand and then leave, whatever, it was dumb. And my other friend, she I think went as like dates with someone else, but we were all going together in a group because none of us really had like official dates, you know what I mean? I had the closest thing to a date, and it was that guy, and it was an unofficial date that we were gonna meet up there, whatever. We ate at Olive Garden first, and then we got to prom, and whatever, it was all cool. We were all like standing around in a little circle, we were dancing and talking and just having fun, and then he walked in. And of course he was wearing a little tux because it was prom, and I, especially back then, had a huge thing for guys in suits. Like, so anyway, so he walks in and I'm immediately heart eyes and like trying to pretend like I'm not looking at him. I was so obnoxious. For some reason, I didn't want him to know that I had already seen him. I don't know what my logic was, but that was it. So instead I turned my attention like intentionally toward my friends and like pretended like I didn't know that he was there, even though I did. And in my head, like my peripheral vision, I'm like still like watching him like walk around, because I'm like, we're like over here, the door's like over this way, and I'm like, he's like walking around and I can like see him while I'm like talking to my friend and pretending like I'm staring at my friend, but really I'm like paying attention out of the corner of my eye. But it did work, because I wanted him to come up to me and be like, whoa, you look amazing, because you know, if he wasn't gonna at least come take me, I wanted him at least to like, you know what I mean? Anyway, it worked though. He did, he waited a second. He was doing kind of a similar thing. I think he wanted me to approach him, but after a few minutes of me like pretending like I didn't realize he was there yet, he walked up to me and was like, hey! I'm sure he didn't say it like that. So he just kind of starts like hanging around me. He didn't really leave again after that. I mean, there were times that he would like walk and, you know, come back, but like for the most part he kind of like hung out beside me the whole time. And so we're like talking. I remember specifically there was a moment I was like way more awkward back then with dancing in front of people. I have never been good at dancing in public. Like when I dance in public, I dance like I'm in my bedroom by myself. If it's not like an actual choreographed dance that you've taught me the moves to, then I'm just gonna be like, yeah, like pretending like it doesn't matter. So I was embarrassed because this is the boy that I've been in love with for months now, and like I'm not just gonna all of a sudden start like breaking this move out on him. So I'm like trying to avoid dancing at all costs. So we were standing on the edge between where all the tables were and the dance floor. Like I literally was like towing the line, like 1 foot on either side, you know. And some of his friends started like coming over and trying to talk to us and dance and stuff like that. And my friends were still kind of beside me and we're still dancing and stuff like that. And he's trying to get me to like dance like a normal human being, you know, because we're at prom and you're not supposed to stand around and talk at prom. I was like, no, I'll like do this thing. That's it. Now I'm dancing. Right? He was getting so irritated with me. I remember him specifically being like, look, it's easy. Like, you don't have to worry about looking dumb or not. Like, could literally just like move one part of your body and then move a different part a different way. And it was like, you know, an arm and a leg or something, but still, it was basically the same idea. He's like, see, look, you're dancing, and then just like move your head too. Like, it's easy. And I was like, no, I'm not gonna do it. Nope. Which was really shitty of me. I should have just been like, okay, but I'm me. So we sat down at a table at one point. It was me and him and then all of my friends that I'd come with. For some reason, I feel like there weren't enough chairs or something, but I was sitting on his lap. Like, I was definitely sitting on his lap, and we weren't even dating at this point. Like we'd been kind of talking for a while, but no, like I was high-key like in my ball gown prom dress and sitting on the lap of this guy who won't curse, who like feels weird about the fact that he kissed me on the forehead, who doesn't want to talk to me in front of other people because that's people being too much in his personal life. Like this guy, I'm sitting on his lap. What? While this is happening, my friend Alyssa is like, hey, you guys should go get a keychain. And I was like, I didn't bring any money. And I also like feel weird about that. So I'm like, no. And he's like, yeah, I actually didn't bring my wallet either because I didn't think there was a reason to. And she's like, oh no, I've got it. Here's 20 bucks or however much it was. And she's like, you guys seriously go get a keychain, because she had been riding the bus with me forever. She had heard me talk about this boy since the moment that I had a crush on him. So the fact that we were like at prom together, I was literally sitting on his lap. Like, she was like, you guys go get a keychain. We go back to the photo room. It was the traditional awkward prom photo, okay? But we had little keychains. I actually still have mine just because I don't know. But we've already taken our picture, and I mean, you know, it's still like we've mostly just been talking and hanging out this time. I want to reiterate that we're not dating yet. I've already sat on his lap, and we've already taken a prom picture together and gotten keychains. Like, that's already happened. Like, that's just the facts. He's already been hanging out with me this entire time. Also, the theme of this prom was Enchanted. It was Enchanted by Taylor Swift. So, like, it was like fairy tales, stuff like that. And Enchanted was the song that they used for the king and queen to dance to. So, they announced the king and the queen. They were one of the most popular couples. They were actually one of the less shitty ones. Neither of them had ever been, like, terrible to me. So that's good, at least. I can say that. They, like, you know, started the first dance, and once it was time for everyone else to join in, Greg like stood up and just held his hand out, and I think he said, "May I have this dance?" He may not have. I really don't remember, to be completely honest, but I remembered that he held his hand out, and I was like, okay, and like took his hand and he led me out to the dance floor. And so we're standing there dancing to Enchanted by Taylor Swift, which was my shit at the time, like, so, but it made it more perfect for me in the moment. So we're dancing to Enchanted, and I'm dancing with this guy I've had a crush on forever, who I, for some crazy reason, think looks like GREGG SULKIN. It's like the most perfect thing in the world. We're dancing together. This is closer than we've ever been, aside from when I sat on his lap. Finally, he looks down at me. I feel like I need to set you up for this, except I've already given you all of the setup for this, so we're dancing, and Greg looks down at me. My head, I think, was like leaning on his like shoulder or whatever, and he was like leaning his head on my head, and I'm like, and he kind of like pulls back for a minute, so I pull back and look up at him, and also I want to point out that I'm barefoot at this point because I had taken my shoes off way before, just, you know, random side note. And no other warning, he just looks down at me and says, "So, I've made my decision." Now, you read the post with me, so you know that he's talking about his decision between the 3 girls. And I go, "So that means..." He's like, "Yeah." And then he kisses me. So in this one night, I sat on his lap, we took pictures together, and then he asked me for a dance, and then he asked me out, and by asked me out just said, "I've made my choice," and I was like, "Oh my god," which, whatever. And then he kissed me, and we wound up, like, we just stayed on the dance floor literally until everyone left. Like, there was that song, and then a lot of people filtered out after that, and then there were a couple more songs, and we were still dancing, but everyone else had still gone. There were like 2 other couples there. That's it. All of my friends were gone already, okay? And then they played The Way You Look Tonight, and he like sang it to me, and I'm like swooning over here. Finally, they're like, "All right, guys, you gotta go," like, blah, 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 like, prom's over, and my parents were waiting outside, and I feel like he didn't walk me out, and I'm not sure why anymore. But I got in the car, I told my mom and my dad, who were both in the car, and, you know, the squeal fest and whatever. And then the funny thing is, after that, like, he didn't kiss me or hold my hand for a long time afterward, but all that is going to begin the next story time. All that, and that's just the beginning. That's just part 1. So, yeah, I hope that this was enjoyable for you, because honestly, this whole situation was ridiculous in the first place, but honestly, like, I feel like it's even funnier with the posts. Like, it's just, oh my god. Okay, so yeah, so that's it for part 1 of the Greg story. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you a lot. I am working on a short film parody type thing that I wrote. It's gonna be what I'm gonna release whenever I hit 200 subscribers. And guys, I am 18 away. I'm so close. Let's get there. Come on. I'm so excited. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Hey YouTube, hey YouTube, hey YouTube, it's Sunday. We thought you died. Fuck it, I'm dead. Little boulder. Whiplash. Sorry. Subscribe. Anyway, kind of psycho mode. What? MeowChiatos. Same. Woohoo! Why does this shit happen to me?
Why are you such a copycat?
I really am out of breath. Wow. There, Mom, I took a breath.